Following an intense and epic battle, the scene shifts to a grand throne hall. The king announces to the gathered court that 4 great warriors successfully aided the hero and defeated the demon king. In recognition of their efforts, the king declares that he is granting the sages of fire, earth, water, and wind a title reserved exclusively for the strongest of mages, the 4 emperors. One of the 4 men considers the weight of this reward, noting that only those of noble blood usually earn an emperor title in this world. It is an incredible reward. The king then calls specifically upon Sage Eftal. The king commands him to call himself the Lightning Emperor from this day forward. Overwhelmed with emotion, Eftal begins to cry and expresses how honored he is by the king's words. Many years pass, and an elderly Eftal now lives on a quiet farm. He supervises a group of young children practicing their magic. One of the young girls notices his exhaustion and asks why he does not get some rest. Eftal assures her that he is not tired at all, which satisfies the girl for the moment. This interaction triggers a brief memory for Eftal. He visualizes a destroyed village where he found a demon mother and her child caught up in the crossfire. In the present, Eftal looks at Merlin and thinks to himself that she does not know that he killed many members of her clan. He feels touched that she now looks at him with such worry. Shaking off the thought, he tells the children to go over their level 4 spells again. Merlin asks him to teach them level 6 spells instead. Eftal questions her hurry and suggests that they continue practicing their concentration instead, emphasizing that the fundamentals are vital. Later in the day, Merlin ventures alone into a dense forest. She spots a dark cave and resolves to defeat the monster lurking inside so she can truly call herself the Lightning Emperor's best student. She believes that if she becomes strong enough, she can teach the other children so that Eftal does not have to exert himself, allowing him to finally rest. Soon after, she is seen running through the trees in sheer panic. Her level 4 magic did not work against the creature at all. Realizing she has only one chance left, she unleashes the level 6 spell, Thunderbolt. The magical blast strikes the target, but the monster tanks the hit and prepares to counterattack. Just in time, Eftal arrives and saves her from danger. He sternly reminds her that he told her to stay away from this dangerous forest. He explains that she possesses the greatest potential among all of his students, but warns her that she is in far too much of a hurry. He tells her that power rushed to be mastered is no real power at all and will simply slip right through her fingers. When the monster gets back up to fight, Eftal unleashes a level 10 spell named after himself, Eftal, which completely obliterates the threat. That evening back at the house, Merlin reflects on how strong her master is. Eftal catches her studying and tells her that she has done enough work for the day, instructing her to go to bed. Merlin agrees, but her eyes widen in shock as Eftal suddenly coughs up blood. Eftal realizes she saw what happened and asks if she is aware of his condition. Merlin confesses that she noticed it some time ago, explaining that his sickness is the exact reason she wanted to learn magic as fast as possible. She begs her master to get as much rest as he can. Eftal replies that he has very little time left and absolutely no time to rest. When Merlin asks why he continues to train his magic despite being so ill, Eftal explains he wants to train talented students who will carry on after him. He admits he once wanted to be the strongest person in the world. Merlin questions his use of the past tense, pointing out that he is already incredibly strong and executed a level 10 spell with ease earlier that day. Internally, Eftal acknowledges her comforting words, but recognizes that compared to the raw talent of the younger generation, he always struggled. He remembers that even during the historic battle against the Demon King, he was the oldest member of the group, and the only one who constantly found himself struggling to keep up. The following day, a boy comes running toward the house in excitement, shouting that he has big news for Master Eftal. The boy reveals that the Flame Emperor has successfully finished his comprehensive theory of magical aptitude, holding out the research papers. Eftal reads through the documents, noting that discovering a person's magical aptitude was long thought to be impossible. He marvels at the explanation and praises the Flame Emperor as a true genius. Setting up the experiment, Eftal explains the process to the gathered children. He places a single hair from the test subject into separate vials, immersing them in a special magic water that is uniquely treated for each element. They start with Merlin, and the blue and green vials begin to glow with a vibrant light. Eftal explains that according to the research paper, the intensity of the light and the depth of the color indicate an aptitude rank ranging from E to S. Since the green and blue vials are glowing so brightly, he concludes that Merlin possesses an exceptional S-rank aptitude in both water and wind magic. The remaining test tubes are colored red and brown, which means her fire aptitude is C rank, and her earth aptitude is B rank. Eftal then requests to be tested next. Internally, he admits he wants to know the truth. Even if he can no longer reach the pinnacle of magic in his current state, he wants to know if he ever possessed the natural talent to get there. The experiment is then conducted, but the vials remain completely colorless. The children point out that the paper state colorless means a person has zero magical aptitude. They quickly reassure him that there must be a mistake, as it makes no sense for a member of the four emperors to have no talent. Eftal narrates, however, that the vials remained completely colorless no matter how many times they repeated the process. The harsh truth finally sets in. He recalls that it always took him significantly longer than anyone else to learn new magic, and that only his grueling effort allowed him to surpass his peers. He realizes that the only reason he could never beat the other emperors was because he possessed zero magical aptitude. Suddenly, his terminal sickness flares up violently, causing him to collapse as Merlin cries out his name in terror. Now completely bedridden, Eftal narrates his final moments. He feels deeply frustrated that his time has run out, believing that sheer effort would eventually get him to his goal. Gripped by overwhelming frustration, Eftal passes away. The screen then flashes with a notification for the skill, Second Reincarnation. Eftal suddenly finds himself in an endless white plane of existence. He recognizes the space, remembering that he stood here over 50 years ago when his first life ended in a completely different world. A divine woman then appears before him and greets him, noting that it has been a very long time. She explains that his unique skill, Indomitable, gave him the supernatural power to constantly work toward his goals without ever giving up. The goddess then announces that it is now time for his second reincarnation, retaining all of his previous magical knowledge. She points out that he managed to rise all the way to the prestigious rank of the four emperors, despite having zero natural aptitude, proving that his success was achieved not just through his skills, but through the sheer strength of his incredible will. The goddess then asks if he is ready to proceed, and after Eftal confirms, she bids him a wonderful journey as he fades away. Eftal suddenly opens his eyes as a young child, feeling his past memories rapidly flooding back into his mind. His doting mother immediately bursts into the room, wishing him a cheerful good morning and asking if he slept well before wrapping her beloved son in a suffocating embrace. She announces that breakfast is ready. Internally, Eftal notes that ever since he turned 4 years old, the vivid memories of his previous life as Eftal have steadily returned. He resolves that during this lifetime, he will truly master the arts of magic. Remembering the recipe from his previous life, Eftal prepares the special water for a magical aptitude test to check his new body. He watches the liquid closely, but the vials remain colorless. Though he half expected this outcome, he feels a pang of disappointment realizing that he will likely hit his strict limits upon learning level 10 spells, just like last time. Suddenly, a massive dragon with terrifying crimson eyes roars in the distance. An army of cavalry soldiers pursues the beast, shouting that the dragon is heading straight for the capital and ordering everyone to stop it at all costs. Looking at the chaos, Eftal notes that while he could have easily handled this threat at the peak of his previous life, he is currently only 4 years old and possesses a frail body. However, he remembers his own original level 10 spell, Eftal. He focuses his energy and casts the high-level spell. A bolt of lightning crashes down from the heavens, striking the dragon dead and sending it crashing to the ground. As the soldiers approach the fallen beast, Eftal realizes that he has been reborn into this world with the ability to wield the peak magical capabilities of his old life, even at the mere age of 4.